While the rest of the royal family stood in solemn tribute to fallen heroes on Remembrance Weekend, Prince Harry was living it up at a star-studded Hollywood bash, and what his wife Meghan did at that party has left Harry absolutely furious, Britain utterly disgusted, and royal watchers around the world shaking their heads in disbelief. Picture the scene. Prince William, Princess Catherine, King Charles and Queen Camilla gathered at the Cenotaph in London, impeccably dressed in black, poppies pinned with pride, paying their respects to the brave men and women who sacrificed everything for freedom. The atmosphere was somber, respectful, dignified, a masterclass in duty and service. And Harry? He was 3,000 miles away in Beverly Hills, champagne glass in hand, surrounded by the Kardashian clan at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday extravaganza. Now that contrast alone is jarring enough. But what happened inside that party, what Meghan chose to do, or rather what she chose not to do, has sent shockwaves through royal circles and left Harry seething behind closed doors. Sources close to the situation reveal that Harry is absolutely raging. One well-connected royal commentator who spoke with someone from Harry's past claims the prince is horrified and humiliated by what unfolded, because this was not just another Hollywood party. This was Remembrance Weekend, the most sacred day on the British calendar for honoring military sacrifice, and Harry, despite everything, despite the betrayals and the burned bridges, still wore his poppy with pride. But Meghan? Rumor has it she didn't wear one. Not a single red flower pinned to her designer dress. Not even a subtle nod with a red outfit and black trim. Nothing. Zero acknowledgement of the day that means everything to veterans, to military families, to her husband's entire identity. Royal experts are calling it a calculated snub, a deliberate middle finger to British tradition, a shocking display of contempt that goes beyond cultural differences and straight into disrespect territory. Because this is not just any American woman we are talking about. This is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, a woman who plasters that royal title on every business venture, every wine bottle, every Netflix credit. She wants the prestige and profit of the royal brand without any of the responsibility that comes with it. And here is where it gets even more outrageous. Meghan positions herself as a champion of veterans through the Invictus Games. She shows up to those events in expensive outfits, leads parades, soaks up the publicity from injured service members' incredible courage. Yet on the one day of the year specifically dedicated to honoring those who gave their lives in service, she could not be bothered to pin a simple paper flower to her dress. The hypocrisy is staggering. The disrespect is breathtaking. And according to insiders, Harry knows it. He is furious. But here is the tragic twist that makes this whole situation even more devastating. He is completely powerless to do anything about it. The contrast between Prince William and Prince Harry has never been more stark, more painful, or more telling than it was this past weekend. While one brother embraced duty and emerged as a global leader, the other was drowning his sorrows in free champagne at a celebrity circus. Let's start with William. The Prince of Wales began his weekend in Brazil, attending the COP Environmental Conference, where he rubbed shoulders with world leaders and environmental innovators. He delivered powerful speeches about conservation and the future of our planet. He commanded respect in every room he entered. This is a man who belongs among presidents and prime ministers, a king-in-waiting who already carries himself with the gravitas and authority of a monarch. Then William flew back to London to fulfill his duty on Remembrance Sunday. He stood at the Cenotaph in full military uniform, his poppy pinned perfectly in place, his expression appropriately solemn. He laid a wreath for the fallen. He honored the sacrifice of generations. He looked every inch the future king, flawless, dignified, born for this. And Harry, he was getting hammered at Kris Jenner's birthday party in Beverly Hills. This is a man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with his brother at state occasions, a man who served his country in Afghanistan, a man who wore the uniform with pride and understood what service really means. Now he is reduced to being a +1 at Kardashian events, making small talk with reality television stars and tech billionaires who probably see him as a curiosity more than a peer. Insiders suggest Harry knows exactly what he has lost. Sources close to the situation claim that attending these Hollywood parties leaves him feeling hollow. He drinks to forget, just like he used to smoke marijuana to numb the pain of losing his mother. One former friend described Harry as the world's least happy millionaire, a man trapped in a gilded cage of his own making, watching his brother ascend to greatness while he spirals further into irrelevance. The symbolism of that weekend could not be clearer. William representing everything noble about the monarchy, Harry representing everything tragic about a man who threw it all away for a woman who does not understand or respect what he left behind. Royal commentators have pointed out that William is preparing to be king while Harry is preparing to be forgotten. One respected royal historian noted that Harry had the opportunity to be the beloved spare, the charming prince who supported his brother and lived a meaningful life of service. Instead, he chose Hollywood parties and podcast deals that nobody listens to. And the most devastating part? Harry sees it too. Palace sources who have kept in touch with people from Harry's military days say he watches William's success with a mixture of pride and crushing regret. He knows he made the wrong choice. He knows Meghan led him down a path that has cost him everything that mattered, but he is too proud, too stubborn, or too controlled to admit it and come home. So let's talk about the company Harry is keeping these days. Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party was not just any Hollywood gathering. This was a carefully curated guest list of billionaires, moguls, and entertainment royalty. But here's the question nobody seems to be asking. What on earth is a British prince doing in this crowd? The guest list read like a who's who of American wealth and fame. Kris Jenner herself, the matriarch who built an empire from a reality television show about her family's drama. Kim Kardashian, who rose to fame through an infamous adult video that we absolutely cannot discuss on a family-friendly channel. Kourtney Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, both billionaires in their own right, thanks to savvy business moves and endless self-promotion. Then you had Oprah Winfrey, the talk show queen who gave Harry and Meghan that explosive interview where they trashed the royal family on international television. Martha Stewart was there too, the real queen of American lifestyle branding that Meghan desperately wants to replicate but never will. Mark Zuckerberg attended with his wife Priscilla. Bill Gates made an appearance. Even Justin Bieber showed up. These are powerful people, accomplished people, but they are not Harry's people. And according to sources who attended the event, it showed. One insider claimed Harry looked uncomfortable the entire night, lost like a man playing dress-up in someone else's life. He smiled for photos, but his eyes told a different story. Empty, distant, raging beneath the surface. The Kardashian brand is built on controversy, drama, and shameless self-promotion. It's the polar opposite of everything Harry was raised to value: discretion, service, dignity, the stiff upper lip. Now he's surrounded by people who livestream their every meal and monetize their every family crisis. It's a universe away from Buckingham Palace protocol and the values instilled in him by his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. Palace insiders whisper that Harry has been questioning these Hollywood friendships lately. He's starting to realize that these people don't actually care about him. They care about the novelty of having a prince at their parties. They care about the photo opportunities and the social media buzz. Once the novelty wears off, once Harry is no longer useful to their brand, he'll be discarded like yesterday's trending topic. And here's the really sad part. Harry traded his family for this. He walked away from his brother, his father, his country, and the institution that gave his life meaning. For what? So he could make awkward small talk with Kim Kardashian while Meghan networks her way around the room trying to sell wine? Royal experts have pointed out that the Kardashians are actually above Meghan in the Hollywood hierarchy. They have more money, more fame, more influence, and they know it. Sources suggest that while Meghan desperately wants to be seen as their equal, the Kardashians view her as a social climber trying too hard, which makes Harry's presence at these events even more humiliating. He's not even the most important person in his own marriage anymore. Now we get to the heart of the matter, the moment that has Britain absolutely furious and Harry reportedly seething behind closed doors. The poppy scandal that nobody saw coming but everyone is talking about. Harry attended Kris Jenner's party wearing his poppy. That simple red flower pinned to his jacket meant everything. It represented his military service, his 2 tours in Afghanistan, his respect for fallen comrades, and his connection to a tradition that dates back to the First World War. The poppy is sacred in British culture. It's not a fashion accessory. It's a symbol of remembrance and gratitude for those who gave their lives so we could live in freedom. And Meghan, she wore a black dress with no poppy in sight. Not even close, not even a gesture. No red outfit with black trim as a subtle nod. No acknowledgement whatsoever that this was Remembrance Weekend. And her husband, a military veteran, was standing right beside her, honoring that tradition. Royal experts are calling it deliberate. This was not an oversight. This was not a mistake. Meghan is far too calculating, far too image-conscious to let something like this slip through the cracks. She knew exactly what she was doing. And what she was doing, according to palace insiders, was sending a message. The message? I don't answer to British traditions anymore. I don't bow to your expectations. I am Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and I do what I want. But here is why this goes beyond cultural differences. Americans don't traditionally wear poppies for Remembrance Day. That's true. They have Veterans Day and their own ways of honoring military sacrifice. Nobody expects Taylor Swift or any other American celebrity to wear a poppy. But Meghan is not just any American. She married into the British royal family. She took a title. She calls herself Duchess of Sussex on every business venture. She profits from that royal connection every single day. More importantly, she is married to a man who served in the military. Harry flew Apache helicopters in Afghanistan. He saw combat. He lost friends. The military is woven into the fabric of his identity. For Meghan to ignore Remembrance Weekend while standing next to her veteran husband is not just disrespectful to Britain, it's disrespectful to Harry himself. Royal commentators have been stunned into silence by the audacity of it. One respected journalist who has covered the royal family for decades said this might be Meghan's worst misstep yet. Worse than the Oprah interview where she made unverified claims about racism. Worse than the Netflix documentary where she mocked royal protocol. This is a direct insult to veterans, military families, and everything Harry once stood for. And according to sources close to Harry, he knows it. He's humiliated. He's furious. Photos from the party show the tension written all over his face, jaw clenched, eyes distant. A man who knows his wife just embarrassed him on the world stage but is powerless to do anything about it. Because in the Sussex household, Meghan calls the shots. Here's where the hypocrisy becomes absolutely staggering. Meghan doesn't just ignore military sacrifice in her personal life, she actively profits from it. She positions herself as a champion of veterans through the Invictus Games, and that makes this poppy snub even more outrageous and calculated. For those who don't know, the Invictus Games is Harry's pride and joy. It's a sporting competition for wounded, injured, and sick military personnel and veterans. These are men and women who served their countries and paid a terrible price, lost limbs, suffered burns, battled post-traumatic stress disorder. The Invictus Games gives them a platform to showcase their resilience and athleticism despite devastating injuries. Harry founded the Games and remains the face of the organization. And Meghan? She's made herself an integral part of the Invictus brand. She shows up at every event in designer outfits that cost more than most people's annual salary. She leads parades, flashing her legs and making sure every camera captures her perfectly styled hair and makeup. She gives speeches about resilience and courage, words that ring hollow when you look at her actual behavior. 2 years ago at the Invictus Games, Meghan wore a revealing outfit and strutted around like she was on a runway. Insiders at the event said she made it all about herself. Here are these incredibly brave veterans who have overcome unimaginable trauma, and Meghan is posing for glamour shots. Look at me, look how fit I am, look at my able body and intact limbs. You're welcome. Royal commentators noted at the time that her behavior was tone-deaf at best, exploitative at worst. She was using these wounded warriors as props for her own publicity. And now we see the pattern continue. Meghan is happy to associate herself with military causes when it benefits her image and gives her photo opportunities. But when it comes to actually honoring military sacrifice on Remembrance Weekend, she can't be bothered to pin a simple poppy to her dress. The veterans community has noticed. Social media lit up over the weekend with military families expressing disgust at Meghan's behavior. One veteran wrote that wearing the poppy is the absolute bare minimum gesture of respect, and Meghan couldn't even manage that. Another pointed out that she expects veterans to show up for her photo ops at Invictus, but she won't show up for them on Remembrance Day. And Harry is caught in the middle of this mess. His entire post-royal identity is built around Invictus and supporting veterans. It's the one thing he does that still has meaning and connection to his old life. Now his wife has undermined that credibility by showing such blatant disrespect on the most important day for military remembrance. Palace sources say Harry tried to convince Meghan to wear the poppy. He knew how it would look. He knew the backlash was coming. But Meghan refused. She doesn't take orders from anyone, not even her husband, and certainly not from British tradition. So Harry was left standing there with his poppy, humiliated, knowing the world was watching his wife disrespect everything he stands for. So how does Harry really feel about all of this? According to multiple sources close to the situation, he is absolutely furious. And the evidence is written all over his face if you know where to look. Photos from Kris Jenner's party tell a story that no amount of Sussex spin can hide. Harry looks miserable. His jaw is clenched tight. His eyes are distant and empty. His smile when he manages one doesn't reach his eyes. This is not a man enjoying himself at a glamorous Hollywood party. This is a man trapped in a nightmare of his own making, watching his wife embarrass him in real time and unable to do a single thing about it. One well-connected royal journalist, who maintains contacts from Harry's military days, spoke with someone very close to the prince. Their assessment was damning. Harry is horrified by what Meghan did. He's raging behind closed doors. He knows exactly how this looks to Britain, to veterans, to his family. He understands the symbolism of wearing his poppy while his wife wore nothing, and he's humiliated. But here's the tragic twist that makes this situation even more heartbreaking. Harry has no power in this relationship, none whatsoever. Meghan controls the narrative, the brand, the public image, and apparently even what she wears to parties. Harry can't tell his wife what to do. He can't demand she respect British traditions or honor his military background, because Meghan doesn't take orders from anyone. Royal experts who have studied the Sussex dynamic point out that this has been the pattern from the beginning. Meghan calls the shots. Harry follows along. She wanted to leave the royal family, so they left. She wanted to do an explosive interview with Oprah, so they did it. She wanted to sign deals with Netflix and Spotify, so they signed. Harry's role in all of this is to stand beside her, smile for the cameras, and go along with whatever she decides. And when he objects, when he tries to assert himself, sources suggest Meghan shuts him down completely. One insider claimed that Meghan has perfected the art of making Harry feel small. She reminds him that she gave up everything to be with him. She points out that his family rejected them. She plays the victim and makes Harry feel guilty for even questioning her choices. So Harry wore his poppy to that party knowing his wife wouldn't wear one. He stood there feeling the weight of British judgment and veteran disappointment, and he couldn't say a word, because he's not the husband in charge. He's not even an equal partner. He's a supporting character in the Meghan Markle show. Palace sources who knew Harry during his military service say this is not the man they remember. The old Harry was confident, cheeky, full of life. He had a mischievous streak and a genuine warmth. Now he's a shell, hollowed out. One former friend described him as a mouse, not a man. And the saddest part, Harry knows it too. He sees what he's become, and he hates it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Meghan wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants all the prestige and profit that comes from being a duchess without any of the responsibility or respect that title demands. And this poppy scandal exposes that hypocrisy in the most glaring way possible. Check the credits on her Netflix show. Executive producer Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Look at her wine bottles. Produced by the Duchess of Sussex. Read any press release from her publicity team. They always include that royal title. Meghan clings to Duchess of Sussex like a drowning woman clutching a life raft. Because without it, what is she? A failed actress who never made it past supporting roles on a cable television drama. That royal title is her entire brand. It's what separates her from every other influencer trying to sell overpriced lifestyle products. It's what gets her invitations to exclusive parties. It's what makes people pay attention when she launches another doomed business venture. The Duchess title is worth millions, possibly billions, in terms of name recognition and perceived status. But here's the problem. You can't monetize British titles while simultaneously disrespecting British traditions. You can't plaster Duchess of Sussex on every product you sell and then refuse to wear a poppy on Remembrance Weekend. You can't profit from your connection to the monarchy while giving the middle finger to everything the monarchy represents. Royal historians have been pointing this out for years. One respected commentator noted that Meghan wants the commercial benefits of royalty without any of the duty or dignity that comes with it. She wants to be treated like a princess while behaving like a reality television star. And the British people are sick of it. The double standard is breathtaking. Meghan left the royal family claiming she wanted privacy and freedom. Then she did a worldwide interview trashing them. She signed massive deals with streaming platforms. She launched businesses using her royal title. She courts publicity at every opportunity. Where exactly is this privacy she supposedly craved? And now she's using that Duchess title to sell wine at Hollywood parties. Reports suggest Meghan provided numerous bottles of her branded wine to Kris Jenner's birthday bash. Free booze for billionaires in exchange for publicity and potential endorsements. It's tacky, it's desperate, and it completely undermines any claim she has to royal dignity. Royal experts point out that this is not how titled nobility behaves. You don't hawk your products at parties, you don't use your title as a marketing gimmick, and you certainly don't disrespect the very country that gave you that title in the first place. But Meghan doesn't care about any of that. She sees the Duchess title as her personal brand, something she owns and can exploit however she wants. She doesn't understand or doesn't care that titles come with obligations, with honor, with a responsibility to represent something larger than yourself. So she'll keep calling herself Duchess while refusing to wear a poppy. She'll keep profiting from British heritage while insulting British values. And she'll keep wondering why the British people despise her more with each passing day. The answer is simple. You can't have it both ways, Meghan. The British public has reached its breaking point with Meghan Markle, and this poppy scandal has unleashed a tidal wave of fury that swept across the entire nation. From military veterans to ordinary citizens, from social media to newspaper columns, the message is clear and unanimous. Enough is enough. Social media exploded over the weekend with hashtags condemning Meghan's behavior. Veterans shared photos of themselves wearing their poppies with pride, pointing out that this simple act of respect costs nothing but means everything. Military families posted heartbreaking stories about loved ones who never came home from war, asking how Meghan could be so callous and disrespectful on the day meant to honor their sacrifice. One particularly powerful post came from the widow of a soldier killed in Afghanistan. She wrote that her husband served alongside men like Harry, and she cannot understand how Harry's wife could show such contempt for the very tradition that honors her husband's memory. The post went viral, shared thousands of times, with people expressing solidarity and disgust at Meghan's behavior. Radio phone-ins across Britain were flooded with callers expressing their anger. One elderly veteran called in to say he fought in the Second World War, and he never thought he'd see the day when a member of the royal family, even a former member, would disrespect Remembrance Sunday so blatantly. His voice cracked with emotion as he spoke about friends who died on the beaches of Normandy, friends who never got to come home, friends whose sacrifice Meghan apparently considers beneath her notice. Newspaper columnists have been equally scathing. One respected royal commentator wrote that this is Meghan's worst misstep in a long history of missteps, worse than accusing the royal family of racism with no evidence, worse than mocking curtsying to the Queen, worse than the endless victimhood narrative. Because this time, she's not just attacking the institution, she's attacking the memory of hundreds of thousands of brave souls who gave their lives for freedom. Even some of Meghan's former defenders have abandoned ship after this incident. One journalist who previously gave her the benefit of the doubt wrote that there's no excuse for this behavior. Meghan has lived in Britain. She married a military veteran. She positions herself as a champion of Invictus veterans. She knows what the poppy means. Her refusal to wear one cannot be explained away as cultural ignorance. It's deliberate disrespect. Veterans organizations have been notably quiet, which speaks volumes. They're too dignified to engage in public mudslinging, but sources suggest many are deeply disappointed and hurt by Meghan's actions. One charity that works with injured service members released a carefully worded statement emphasizing the importance of Remembrance Day and the universal nature of honoring military sacrifice, regardless of nationality. The subtext was clear even if they didn't name Meghan directly, and through it all, the royal family has maintained their characteristic silence. They won't dignify this with a response. They won't stoop to Meghan's level. They'll simply continue doing their duty, wearing their poppies with pride, and letting the British people draw their own conclusions, which they have, loudly and unmistakably. Now let's talk about what else happened at that party. Because the poppy scandal wasn't the only humiliation Meghan faced that night. She came face to face with the woman she's desperately trying to become, and according to insiders, it did not go well. Martha Stewart was at Kris Jenner's birthday bash, and if you don't understand why that's significant, let me explain. Martha Stewart is everything Meghan wants to be but never will be. She's the undisputed queen of American lifestyle branding. She built an empire on homemaking, cooking, entertaining, and design. She has genuine talent, decades of credibility and respect across multiple industries. She's a billionaire who earned every penny through hard work and innovation. Meghan, on the other hand, is a former cable television actress trying to rebrand herself as a lifestyle guru. Her Netflix show bombed, her podcast got canceled, her products don't sell. She puts 2 cinnamon sticks in water and calls it groundbreaking content. It's embarrassing compared to Martha's legacy. And now they're in the same room. Sources who attended the party claim the encounter was painfully awkward. Meghan allegedly tried to network with Martha, probably hoping for some kind of endorsement or collaboration. Martha was polite but distant, professional but cold. She's been in the business long enough to recognize a phony when she sees one. Industry insiders suggest Martha has no interest in associating her brand with Meghan's failing ventures. Why would she? Martha has spent 50 years building credibility. She even went to prison and came back stronger. She doesn't need a controversial duchess with no discernible talent trying to ride her coattails. But the humiliation didn't stop there. Reports indicate that Meghan was working the room all night, allegedly promoting her wine brand. Multiple sources claim she provided bottles of her wine to the party, hoping that high-profile guests would post about it on social media or mention it in interviews. It's a desperate marketing tactic. Goodie bag Meghan, as some insiders are calling her. Think about how pathetic that is. You're at a party with billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, with entertainment icons like Oprah, with the actual Kardashians who built a billion-dollar empire, and you're pushing wine bottles like a struggling salesperson trying to make quota. It reeks of desperation. One source who attended the event said Meghan seemed frantic to make connections, to be seen with the right people, to manufacture moments that could be spun into positive publicity. But Hollywood sees through it. They know she's using them. They know every friendship is transactional. They tolerate her because she brings Harry, and Harry brings the novelty of actual royalty. But nobody actually likes her. And that's the tragedy of Meghan's Hollywood dream. She thought leaving the royal family would make her a star in America. She thought her Duchess title would open every door and guarantee success. Instead, she's become a social climber desperately trying to buy her way into circles that view her as a joke. Martha Stewart's polite distance was just one example. The whole party was full of people who smiled to her face and probably laughed behind her back. So where does this leave Harry and Meghan? The poppy scandal is not just an isolated incident, it's a symptom of something much deeper and far more troubling. This marriage is in crisis, and everyone can see it except perhaps the 2 people living it. Royal experts who have followed the Sussex saga from the beginning say the cracks have been showing for months. Separate projects, solo appearances, carefully staged photo opportunities that feel forced and awkward. The love bombing phase, that intense period where Meghan made Harry feel like the center of her universe, is long over. Now it's a cold war behind closed doors. Sources close to the situation describe a relationship built on control rather than partnership. Meghan makes the decisions. Harry goes along with them. She dictates the narrative. He reads from the script she's written. And when he objects, when he tries to assert himself or question her choices, she shuts him down completely. The poppy incident is a perfect example. Harry wanted her to wear one. She refused, and he was powerless to do anything about it. Palace insiders who maintain contact with people from Harry's past say he's increasingly aware of what he's lost. He watches his brother become a respected global leader while he's stuck at Kardashian parties feeling hollow. He sees Princess Catherine's grace and dignity compared to Meghan's desperate social climbing. He knows he made the wrong choice, but pride and stubbornness keep him trapped in California. The question everyone is asking now is, how long can this last? How many more humiliations can Harry endure before something breaks? How many more times can Meghan disrespect his heritage, his values, his identity before he finally finds the courage to walk away? Royal commentators point out that leaving Meghan would be even harder than leaving the royal family. She controls their brand, their income, their public image. She knows where all the bodies are buried, and she's proven she has no problem airing private grievances on international television if it serves her purposes. Harry is trapped in a cage of his own making, and the key is in Meghan's pocket. But the alternative is equally bleak. Stay with Meghan and watch his reputation disintegrate further. Continue attending parties where he feels out of place. Keep making awkward small talk with celebrities who see him as a curiosity. Live in a mansion in Montecito while his brother prepares to be king. Drink champagne to numb the pain and pretend everything is fine when clearly nothing is fine. The British people watch this tragedy unfold with a mixture of anger and sadness. Anger at what Harry threw away, sadness for the prince he used to be, and beneath it all a faint hope that maybe, just maybe, he'll find his way back home before it's too late. But after this weekend, after the poppy scandal and the humiliation, that hope feels fainter than ever. Harry chose Meghan over his country, and now he's paying the price every single day. The question is, how much more can he take before something finally gives? So what do you think? Is Harry trapped in this marriage, or is he exactly where he wants to be? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button and subscribe, because the next video is coming, and you won't believe what we've uncovered next.